You know, I'd be really curious to know just how many videos of this playthrough started in this exact same spot, in this exact same way, because I think the past 3 have started at Nier's village exactly like this. There's quite a little bit of a difference here, though. I'm using the Phoenix sword, and I thought it might be fun to switch it up a little bit and use the overpowered Phoenix sword instead of the overpowered Phoenix spear. So we do have everything we need to enter the Shadowlord's Castle, but we still have to do that damaged map side quest, so that's what I'm going to be finishing up right now. I think it might be a little involved and have us go to a few different places, if I remember correctly. We shall see, and I hope you're doing well, so let's go talk to the blacksmith. Or rather, the blacksmith's wife. Is your husband around? I have something for him. Sorry, he's out shopping for weapons right now. Oh, well, can you give him this book? Fine. If I may, madam, what is it about our transaction that has you so dissatisfied? This is another map, isn't it? Don't bother answering, I know it is. And as soon as he sees it, he's going to run out and start treasure hunting. One of these days he's going to be eaten by a shade, I just know it. I understand, it's hard to worry about someone. I don't suppose. Look, is there any way you can find this treasure? If you can track it down and bring it to my husband, that would be enough to satisfy his curiosity. Sounds like a plan to me. But first I gotta figure out where this map leads. This seems like Popola's area of expertise. Perhaps she has some advice for us. Yeah, let's go talk to her.
You of all people should be aware that meddling in the arguments of a married couple will accomplish nothing.
I have a job, and I'm gonna see it through.
Your sense of duty is positively breathtaking.
I know what it means to care for your family. If you don't show it until they're gone, it's too late.
It is a tremendous burden. But I cannot say that I dislike that way of thinking.
Back to doing side quests and back to getting more really good dialogue. I think the quests that reward weapons have some pretty good stuff. Between our party members here. Also love that when you come back here, Yona's theme on piano is playing.
You're really gonna do it?
Oh right, we have to do gotta do the main story stuff first.
The whole village is buzzing. They say you're gonna rescue Yona.
It's true. This is my final journey.
Hard to believe this is the end.
I'll bring her back. I promise.
About that.
What?
Nothing. Never mind. Popola just loves to worry. Anyway, you be careful. Yes, do be careful.
I will. Watch over the village while I'm gone.
Hey, got a moment? I've got a map I need your help with. Sure, what kind of map? Here, let me show you. Looks like a map of the Lost Shrine to me. Apparently this leads to some unidentified object of great importance. It also talks about a hidden room in the Lost Shrine where light doesn't reach. I'd bet that's where your secret treasure is hiding. Treasure, not treasure. A hidden room in the Lost Shrine, huh? Thanks for the help. Oh, not at all. Glad to be of service. Please be careful. It's kind of cutting it close to the last dungeon here, needing to go to the Lost Shrine. But I'm pretty sure our objective will be in the area before the Shadowlord's Castle, which is currently waiting for our key. So I'm gonna go ahead and quick travel there and edit it out, so I'll see you there. Also, the hardest thing about switching to this sword so far is not being able to hit triangle to cover a ton of distance after in between the dodge rolling. Because if you do, you just slow yourself down completely like that. It's rough. But anyway, see you there. I'm going the wrong way. much of a move that was from that shade. Wow, I had to show you that. That was crazy. I'm gonna make my way through all the way back up to him again. I've just been fighting. Okay, rematch. There we go. Yeah, that's what you get for that. Obtained pile of junk. Is this the treasure? A pile of junk. Seems that treasure map was a ruse. Now what? His wife isn't gonna like this at all. Can you imagine if the poor blacksmith had to come to the Lost Shrine and go through all these shades? Endgame shades, knowing that Nier is going to the Shadowlord Castle right now. Unfortunately, no such luck to get teleported back, so instead we're gonna have to get there with the power of YouTube, so I'll see you in a second. And we're back in the village, which is still playing Yona's theme, so we can talk to the blacksmith's wife. Although the blacksmith might be back too at this point, who knows? Tell her about the pile of junk we found. Alright, he's still gone. Oh no, what happened? We followed the map, but all we found was a pile of junk. Sorry. I see. In that case, can I ask you to sell my jade hair ornament and purchase something shiny with the proceeds? Then we can give it to him and pretend that you found it. You sure? This looks pretty valuable. That's because it is, but if it keeps that idiot husband of mine home safe, then it's worth it. Well, should we obey the wife's request and sell her jade hair ornament? I'm not sure the significance of this decision. I want to say, very vague, hazy memory that you still end up getting the weapon, but let's honor her request. It's really easy to get to Facade. Well, if that's what she wants, let's go to the Strange Things store and see what we can get for it. It's really easy to get to Facade. It'd be silly to keep it. Especially if it's valuable. It just seems like a weird, somewhat out of character thing for Nier to do, to keep it. I should say Nier and company because Kaine, Emil, and well, I guess they're not in town right now, but at least Vice is complicit. Right now we're gonna have to unfortunately roll across the desert without our spear movement, but that's fine. Maybe if we're lucky we'll get poisoned by a scorpion along the way. Fingers crossed, at least. I like how quickly we were able to get to the Shadowlord's Castle. By the way, it's been a lot of stress off my mind, being able to just quick cut to each place that we've seen before, and I think it makes it more entertaining for you as well, or at least I'm hoping so. That's obviously always the goal here. Kind of bummed that our time with Nier is drawing to a close, though. I have to admit, when I started this playthrough, though, I did not think that it would, I severely misjudged how long I thought Nier was. In my mind, it's always a short RPG, but really it's not. I mean, it is if you go to ending A and don't do any side quests, but that's not really experiencing all Nier has to offer, at least in my opinion. You want to trade this hair ornament for something shiny? Yeah, I think I got just what you need. Oh jeez. Excuse me. How's about I give you this old gold coin for it? Oh, okay, no more. Alright, well that was quick and easy. Now we have to go across the entire desert again, but I'll tell you what, we'll just jump right to the village. Yes, yes, gold. That map was right all along. I'm not sure it's enough to roll around in, but maybe I can make it work. Oh, how wonderful. Now will you please promise to stop with all this treasure hunting? I promise, honey. From now on, it's nothing but good, honest work for me. Oh, but wait, there's one more thing. Here, this is the first map I ever found. Go ahead, take it. I won't be needing it anymore. You obtained the marked map. This map's a lot more cryptic than the last one. Yet I feel confident the junk it will lead us to is the same. Come, we have little time to waste with these trifles. Yeah, but don't you want to check it out anyway? Aren't you the least bit curious? Curiosity about such things is beyond my comprehension. It's called the thrill of the hunt device. Now let's go talk to Popola and see if she can help with the map. That's a great idea. She might be a little confused as to why we're not currently going into the Shadowlord's Castle, but since we already said our goodbyes and she said to be careful, but it's fine. I think we're at the tail end of this quest now, and it'll lead us into our last weapon. I think going through the Lost Shrine is definitely the hardest part of it. I don't remember there being much more than that. We will have to see, though. Oh, Devil is gone. Hey, I've got another map for you. Sure, let me take a look. Here it is. The code on this is pretty tricky, but I think it's a map of the Northern Plains. It mentions something about the place where the Iron Bridge starts, but that's all I can read. Sorry, I can't be more help. No, this is great, Popola, thanks. Any dialogue to further elaborate that for us doesn't seem like it. Let's check the quest log just to make sure. As soon as we're done loading, we are looking for the damaged map. The map apparently depicts the start of a steel bridge. Well, that'll definitely be the bridge leading into the junk heap, so that's where we're gonna go. With our good buddy Boris. Hey buddy, actually it could be any one of these bridges. But we'll try the junk heap one first. I didn't think about that. The fact that these train tracks are all throughout the Northern Plains. Which is surprising considering they're one of the most standout things about the area the first time you ever see it. Oh, threading the needle there, Bor. Alright, doesn't look like there's anything over here. I don't think the spore is getting back up here, but we could try. Yeah, that's unfortunate. Okay. So I guess we'll start by exploring over here and then make our way around. Which is nice. I mean, getting toward the end of the game here before the final dungeon, we spend some time going through the very first open area and taking some time to appreciate it. And it's Shadow of the Colossus-esque design. Still, this area more than any other reminds me of that. I suppose the desert, I mean, Shadow of the Colossus does have a desert, but it's nothing like the one that leads into Facade. Royal Fern, don't need those. Did need those for a side quest at some point, but not anymore. might be that bridge. That sounds a little familiar. Oh, excuse me. I thought it was a yellow drop for a second. Too bad. Oh, that's a weapon pickup icon. And beneath the bridge is the Spear Labyrinth Shout. Wow. It would appear this latest treasure map was the real thing. Yeah, I'd say this is an ample reward. The quest, the damaged map, is complete. And now, well, let's take a look at that real quickly. Labyrinth Shout, and as you can see, it's a spear styled like the rest of the Labyrinth set we've been getting. And it's pretty powerful against these weak enemies in the northern plains. Although its damage is, what is it, 168 comparatively to the 490 of the Phoenix Spear. Not quite as powerful there. But that's the end of the quest. We don't have to go back to the blacksmith, even though the blacksmith would probably appreciate being told that his first map he ever got was the real deal, and it was just a stone's throw away from where he's lived for his entire life. But unfortunately, the game does not give us the capacity to do that. So instead, what we're gonna do, just really quickly, we have 97% of all the weapons after getting that. And looking through, we don't seem to have any missing ones on two-handed swords and spears, but if we check one-handed swords, we'll see a question mark weapon that we don't have, and I guess you'll just have to see when we'll get that. It's a really, really fun weapon, honestly, and I'm really glad they brought it back in Nier Automata as well. So we're back at the village now, and all we really have left to do in playthrough 2 of part 2 is to go to the Shadowlord Castle and finish the game again now that we have all the weapons. So I am going to go ahead and jump to the door to Shadowlord's Castle.
Such an ominous sight, and yet I find it strangely nostalgic.
Yeah. This is where Vice and I first met.
Wow! This is where you used to live, Vice?
Well, yes, I suppose, in a technical sense.
Pretty nice digs for a floating magazine.
At least it was free from annoying hussies like yourself.
And we are back at the Shadowlord's Castle. We cannot turn back from this point, much unlike Emil's head, who can turn back, as you can see, and fully around from any point. We're going to continue. We're going to get to ending B.
And now the path is open.
And definitely not to forget about those documents the Devil and Popola give us. I'm really looking forward to reading those. This first pathway and door is going to lead into the Shadowlord's garden, as we remember. With the nice statues and foliage and flowers, it's pretty nice. Gotta wonder who's been maintaining all of this and why it isn't completely grown over. Maybe because it's artificial, not sure. I'm completely ignorant in my memory of where the new scenes are in the castle, so I'm interested in when those are going to crop up. To whom does the true form show itself? You must answer. That's not the interact button. To whom does the true voice speak? To whom does the true form show itself? Why did humans disappear from the world? The answer is because of a black disease, as we know. Humans can extend their lives by separating body from soul. They are placed in their corresponding shells, just answering that one a little ahead of the curve.
I answer, they are placed in their corresponding shells. Well then, seems the way is open.
Indeed it is, but looking at those birds, I realized how much the building we come in from, I don't think I've ever actually bothered to look back. That is straight up just, it looks like an apartment building. Obviously the windows aren't very typical, but the walkways up there definitely look that way to me. Very interesting. I think over here we'll probably see more of a modern city as well. It's just more of a hint here because we see it very clearly later after the second Devila and Popola fight. Let's see if we can't get a better view. It's too bad we can't get past these barriers here. That'd be really nice. Maybe if we could, we'd be able to go down or look further down and see some streets, but no such luck.
It's the twins from your village.
Popola, Devila, what are you doing here?
Hey, any chance you'll just go back to the village? This is a very dangerous place. Even if you can find Yona here, you probably can't get her out.
How did you get here?
We are asking questions right now.
Obviously we're gonna pick that right. Let's go back to the village again to reset our playthrough. No, I'm just kidding. We're here to rescue Yona.
No dice, huh? Well, I guess we don't have a choice. No, I suppose not. How sad. We didn't want to fight you. It's true. We didn't want to.
Devila, what's happening?
Sorry. This is our fate. I speak the truth. We never thought you'd grow to be this powerful.
This is madness. Why do you block our path?
You have no cause to speak so with us, Grimoire Weiss. You are a traitor.
I think we've already, gotten them to their HP limit. I forgot that was how it worked.
What now? They copied my powers.
Shit on a shingle. They can use the sealed verses.
Of course we did. The power came from us in the first place.
That's definitely one of the things I'm hoping is explained more in the documents, how the power came initially from Devila and Popola. Oh, that's kinda.
Why?
The answer to every riddle lies within the heart of the Shadowlord.
The Shadowlord? You've been on his side this whole time?
You must search for that answer yourself. You've got to face your own truth now. Please, enter the Shadowlord's castle.
very quickly. There's the Shadowlord Castle map again. And poor Grimoire Vice can't talk. I think we just skipped that, but you know what's said. Now, we've been able to listen to shades in this playthrough. I am hoping that's more true in this room than any other. Because I would love to know what's going on here. Defilers, none of you are human. I'm very pleased. This is a holy sanctuary for humans. Leave at once, beasts. This sanctuary must remain under our protection. It is our final bastion. For the sake of those we love, we will not allow it to be destroyed. Sounds more than a little bit familiar. Like so many issues, I really think one of the core problems that have been established, and now that we know both sides of each encounter, is really just a lack of communication, and what poor communication can bring on the heads of everyone involved, unfortunately. Being unwilling to just talk things out. There's a recovery potion, thank you very much. New game plus and level 32 is definitely helping us out a decent amount here. Let's see if this is going to keep moving really quickly. Oh nice, I'm glad. Glad that worked out. Here is the last shade before the boar comes out. Didn't see you over here. Let's just dark blast him out of the sky. Very poorly. Oh my gosh. That's embarrassing. No, our treasures lie just beyond. You can't enter. You mustn't.
No good bullshit bastard! Come on! Got it.
Kaine, look out!
I'm grateful that the cutscene saved me from my horrible aim. Young Shades crying out. And again. And there's Grimoire Vice talking about if they're crying or laughing, and now we could actually hear it this time. Stop, please stop. They are just babies, they don't know any better. And seeing the way they move and are animated, we waited for so long and now we can finally recreate them. Spare the lives of the children. Oh, come on, I was way too engaged in reading the dialogue. Oof, okay, give me a second. Spare the lives of the children. Please, please, I beg you. Alright, that's a... Okay, I get it, Emil. I think that's all the dialogue we could hear. Thankfully, it just put me back right at the Kaine cutscene of her kicking in the door and not having to fight all the dancing ones again. Everyone to me. More crying. There, little one. Nothing to be scared of anymore. Mommy, stay with me, Mommy. Sounding a lot like the shade that became friends with BB. There can be no justice in the slaughter of innocents. How many have you killed? How many? Your actions can never be forgiven.
We don't need forgiveness, assholes.
And there's finally context as to what Kaine was responding to when she said that in the previous playthrough.
Wait a second. Your heart is different. It ain't hatred, and it ain't sadness. What's going on here, sunshine?
How should I know?
Kaine, are you alright?
Fine. Let's just kill some shit and move on, alright?
Interesting. Oh, how very interesting.
Ouch. I obviously knew that Tehran was a feature of this playthrough, but I did forget that her first response, where she said we don't need forgiveness, asshole, was actually a response to the Shade Mother that became the boar with the children, and not just Tehran. I thought they would all be responding to Tehran. It's very interesting. And here's the armored one. Ooh. That was fun. Too bad I got knocked out still. Fun little parry. Oh, it looks like hitting him out of his charge worked. Trying to get some damage before. And now's our cue for the door, I think. Oh, Kaine's trying her best there. There we go. I remembered this time. And now they're gone. What happens if we try to go? Oh, it's a dead end. I think I might have already tried that, but I couldn't remember. And let's severely outpace this. Once again, keeping a lookout for that white arrow at the bottom of the screen there. Shucks. I wasn't as prepared for the... Yeah, I didn't lap it this time, but got close.